Okay, let's continue with the session. We formally talked about how to find a character in a string using the user defined function. At that point for time, we talked about having a case sensitive search, right? We talked about having the case sensitive search. Please ignore any backgrounds. So now actually I attempt to have a case insensitive search. For that again, we have a different strategy. You might have your own algorithm, you might think of something better, or let's have a direct strategy that can be used in this section. So this was the first strategy for number one. Later on I'll provide you these hands out as well, but right now let's move forward. So let me go to the new page here, and I would rather call it okay. So over here, this is case insensitive search. Fine. So let's continue. The first thing is the algorithm. As usual, what we used to do, that is nothing new, that reading the string and passing the argument. Okay, so I'll just discuss the important part where you have to verify how the case insensitive content works like. Okay, so I have seen few students when I discuss these things. Few students, what do is they actually happen to collide and change the whole string. So the point here I want to make is, do not change the whole string. I repeat, do not change the whole string. So some people accidentally they convert the whole string to small caps maybe, or whole string to capitals, and then they check character by character. But it's always easy, or it's always nice to have an algorithm that do not actually change the whole string. Rather, they just check the values for it. So going on comparing and see if the text is string, the character in the string, as well as the key that is being searched could be of say four different pairs. For example, for example, let me put it. I do not know how am I supposed to put it. Okay, let me try. Okay, I'll try it this way. Let's say I have a scenario like, okay, so let's consider that this way we have something called the string characters. Okay, so that could be of two depths. It could be either small, or it could be caps. And this way, let's say I have the search key thing. Okay, so here I have the key thing. I have the key thing right here. Now even the key could be of two types. Give me a second. Okay, So it could be of, again, it could be small, or it could be of caps. Now, depending upon this situation, when once the UDF has to handle it, so if the character is small and the key is small, then you simply increase the count. So you do not need to do anything. So simply increase the count. Okay. So you do not need any extra work to do. So I just simply put a cross over here to represent that there is no extra effort required. But in case the character in the string that we are say scanning using a loop maybe is in caps, and then you have a key that is already a small letter. Look, I'm not talking about numbers. I'm not talking about special characters. It's all about the alphabets. And so among the characters in the string could be alphabets, could be numbers, could be white spaces, right? Could be say punctuation marks and all that. So right now we are just talking about the characters or alphabets, right? So I say small. Then what do we do? So my strategy for the time being is, let's convert this character of key. Let's convert the key to caps. And how do we do that? So if you remember, we have say capital A to capital Z ranging from 65 to 90, whereas small a to small z ranges from ranges from 97 to 122. So with this knowledge, since we already know that the character in the string is caps, and if we are actually attempting to convert the key to match its corresponding caps, then what do we have to do? So we have to subtract 32, I guess, right? So we have to subtract 32 in that case. So here I say, um, okay, so that would be like ch. If that is a character pointer, maybe, right? So if that is a pointer, and the value pointed by the pointer, so that could be this much plus, sorry, it could be just because it's a small caps and if it has to match the capital letter, it has to be minus, I guess. Yeah, so ch minus 32. Whereas in case if you have the character in the string as small and you already have a larger value with you, okay, the key over there is a caps. So from the caps to the small letter, you have to say add 32 to match its corresponding range. If both of them are caps, then you do not need to make any changes while comparing. So this will be the total strategy. I'll explain all these things. Instead of saying it's an algorithm, let's call it a block diagram instead. Okay, what have we got? So if you see here, it's exactly the same thing. You have the character, you have the hashtag, you have the size, and you have the key read from the user being passed to the UDF. The original string right here, and again the same thing. I did not make any changes right here. So the function is called in the same way, exactly in the same way. If you liked it, you could have used address of operator and the square bracket of 0. So I find it easy while using name of the array to pass it as a reference. So by default it's passed as a reference, so I don't mind using it directly that way. So but here Now look at this. So if in order to have a case insensitive search, there could be possibility different ways. So here, the first thing is the string character is in a small case, I guess. Now, if that is the case, so how do you determine? So for that determination, we say if it's a small case, then probably the string character is a small case, means we are at number one block. Here we are. The character in the string is small case. So what do you do? So now you verify. Next, you will have to verify whether the key is small as well. If that is it, you do not need to do anything. You simply increase the counter. Or otherwise, or otherwise, so that means the key is a caps. You verify whether it's a caps. And if it's a caps, increase it by 32 and then increase the counter if the matches is found. So this is what we are here. So if the key is small as well, that means you do not have to do find the exact match. Now some student, what do they do? They just increase the counter. That's not true, because in that way you happen coincidentally you happen to search for each and every characters. You again have to compare whether the key is actually what we want or not, because these two if statements just verifies or just scans the character in the string and the character that is being searched. Now whether they are the same or not have to be verified before increasing the counter, right? So that's the code right here. Otherwise that means we fall downwards. Okay, that means we fall downwards right at this block. We are at stage number 2. That means the outer or the character in the string is a small, but we have a capital key. Then what do? You increase it by 32. Okay, so that's what we are here doing. So verify whether the character is small. Yes, it is, but the key is in caps. If that is the case, then you'll have to check after converting the key to the lowercase. And how do you do that? This can be done by adding 32 to it and then comparing with the original stack value. It's as simple as that. And once it is, just increase the counter. Having said that, so these are the two cases that we have actually dealt with. 1 and 2 blocks is done almost. Now, if this is not true, means character in the string is not a small letter, then it could be a caps. So for that, we have and else, which looks at whether the character in the string is caps or not. So right here at this line, we have checked whether the character in the string is caps or not. If it is, if it is, then we are right here. Now it's probable, now it's probable that the key that we are looking for is a small or that the key we are looking for is a caps. So in case the key we are looking is a small, then we have to decrease it by 32, that converts it into caps, and then compare the value. Once the match is found, increase the counter or increase the count, I guess. Well then, let's move ahead. So it says right over here, if if so is this I guess yeah, both the key and the string is in caps. So right now we are at block 4, I guess. So both the string and the caps is in caps, so you do not need to do anything. So let me verify it right here. Instead of saying 3, let me call it this as 3 and this one as 4. So the logic fits here. Okay, so third says if both of the say string character as well as the search character are in caps, you do not need to do anything. Just verify whether the match is found or not. If they are found, just increase the counter. Similarly, if the character in the string is caps, but the search key is small over here, Okay, the search key is small over here. In that case, you'll have to decrease it and then compare with the element. Once the match is found, increase the counter. So still here, it looks at the alphabets. From here to here, it looks at the alphabets. But we could have numbers for the search, or we could have blank spaces or some special characters. The user could be able to search any character within the string, right? So for that, we have the if condition, and search key can be a number or a special character, so it does not need to be changed. And in that way, we just have a simple counter. Scanning through the loop, and look at this here. Look at the loop. How what a beauty. The size over here guides us how many times the loop has to be executed. And that is why I keep on telling my students in the class that it's always better to have the size as a second argument if you're dealing with the arrays. It's always nice to have. Okay, I hope that works. Let's execute these things. I have the same string right now. It's again the same string. But now in this case, I'm going to look at I. Okay, so I over here, if we count the case insensitively, then I can see the capital I over there is 1. Orchidian has 2 eyes. Oh, it sounds very funny, 2 eyes. The third I in the next line, also that counts to 4, I guess. Nice counts to 5. So altogether, we have 5 eyes. Sounds so funny. Although I have 2, but my text has 5 eyes. So let's see. So I'm going to search for, say, capital I, and it will count the same thing. Okay, it's very funny. It says the I character appeared 5 times. Now you might have understood why 5 times, because it's a case insensitive search. Hope that would be of any help to you. If you have any questions, you can put them in the classroom as well. We can have a few more discussions over it. And if you have any better algorithm than this, you can always come up with some nice trick to do that. So that will be all for this session.